Alrighty then, I am recording. I think my scene is looking pretty good. Let me just double check that. It is. Hopefully I'm not blocking anything. Round 3, baby! I am playing the black pieces. The first time I played black over the board. Again, the first 2 weeks I was lucky enough to get white. I am playing Sergey Zausaylov, who is rated 1285. He has won 1 and lost 1, so he's also sitting on 1 point for the tournament. And I had my work cut out for me. I realized that last week I didn't mention a few particulars about the board, and I'm going to mention that now, as well as my opponent for tonight to kind of set the scene. I also tried to note 2 different spots with time usage, so I could be a little bit more accurate, because the clock came up tonight. Tonight, I played a longer game for time spent. In fact, there were 35 moves played by both players, so also as far as number of moves. All right, last week against James Fallon, who I believe won his game tonight as well. I believe he's the tournament leader with 3 out of 3, meaning I have to get lucky and have someone beat him for me to have a chance to win this. Not saying I won or lost, and the reason that I do need to lose for me to, even if I lost tonight, who knows. The reason this is slightly delayed is I took my girlfriend out for ice cream, but that doesn't mean I won. I said if I lost, we're going to get ice cream, and if I won, we're going to get ice cream. So I'm going to give you all a spoiler. I did not draw this game. And so I got ice cream, and then I'm hustling back. As you can tell, it's very humid here. I just got home. I have my AC on, and I'm sweating. This is literally the 3rd shirt. When I went to the chess club, I brought an extra shirt with me. When I finished playing my game and then walked the mile to meet up with Lizzie, I then changed my shirt, and then I just got home and I changed my shirt again. So really, really humid. The chess club, it is worth noting, is really nicely air-conditioned. It's very comfortable in there, except for one thing, which I'm going to get to. Last week, though, the thing, I should have mentioned this in the recap, but there was like a fly or a bug in the chess club that for whatever reason was right on our board, and my opponent was like, did this like gesticulation like, I don't want to touch the pieces, but I got to get rid of this bug, and I was like, yeah, sure. So literally for the first 15 minutes of last week, my opponent was like literally trying to swat a fly. And I don't want to like blame that on the concentration or anything like that, but it is a little factoid that I meant to add to the recap that was really annoying. He literally like tried to like slap pieces multiple times, and finally the bug left, but it did eat up at least 15 or 20 minutes, and it was like kind of comical, but yeah, I don't want to use that as an excuse because it wasn't, but it was like slightly funny, and I was like, yeah, sure, do whatever. It is annoying, but it is worth noting. Now this opponent, there's 2 things to add and note about this opponent. The first is, I know a guy from the 2+2 days. I used to play fantasy basketball with him with the exact same name, Sergey Zausaylov. I didn't know this was like a common Russian name or something, but the person I know lived in the Boylston area, and we played a lot of fantasy basketball against each other, but literally I don't think we ever met. Like, we talked on the phone and whatnot. So I assumed when I saw this guy like week 1, I like poked him on the shoulder. I'm like, Sergey, it's me, it's Bobo. And he was like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Not quite like that, he was playing, but I didn't want to disturb him. Anyway, I find out later because I emailed Sergey. It wasn't him. Sergey, a few years ago, moved to Washington, D.C. or something like that. So this is literally just a different dude, different Russian guy with the exact same name. So there you have it. So that was number 1. Number 2, my opponent, maybe it was the humidity, and I don't want to I don't want to like be like mean here, but my first 2 opponents, week 1 against the player from Barcelona, and then week 2, just the American dude, were like showered, like smelled fine, everything. This guy reeked of body odor. So I have a very strong olfactory sense. Keep in mind, the whole time I'm playing, I'm like focused and zoned in, but I'm also like, holy shit, this guy needs a fucking shower. Holy shit, this guy needs a fucking shower. Or just use some deodorant. So anyway, so that I want to be the preamble for the game. Nonetheless, I also looked up the French defense. That's all I play online for the most part, and I wanted to be prepared, and I didn't want to waste that much in the opening. So he starts with e4. So he's just playing the king's pawn. Makes sense. I respond with e6, very, very typical. He builds big white center, in the words of Hikaru. With d4, I respond with the classic French d5. These moves we're making immediately, of course. He plays knight c3, which is very, very typical. This is the normal variation, and unfortunately, I don't know why, but I went into a deep think here. The reason why, I'll tell you. I did end up playing, by the way, knight f6, which is a move, of course. It's a book move. But, and this is where I'm going to start building some variations, for some reason, online on Blitz, I played this move a lot, the winnower variation, but I knew it wasn't good, or at least the computer doesn't like it as much. and I was trying to remember because I thought the setup was playing this. He goes here. You can obviously trade and double their pawns. It's not even that great. Again, accordingly, it's good for white. And I wanted the whole key with the French is you want to put your knight here. But I remembered looking at this online and thinking, okay, I'm supposed to put the knight here, but like, I'm not supposed to build the bishop out. So am I supposed to enclose the bishop? So I think to myself, wait, so am I supposed to do this? And I didn't know if this was correct. It turns out it's not, so I'm glad I didn't play this. But I did this thing like the mind brick where literally I was like, holy shit, am I playing the wrong moves already? And I then play the classic move, f6. And the reason why I looked at if he pushes, I knew what to do if he takes, and I also knew what to do if he just pins. So basically I was, believe it or not, prepared through a few moves. Anyway, he takes the pawn, which I was ready for. And I have a decision here, and I spent a couple minutes. Again, for whatever reason, I remember I spent like 5 minutes, but my opponent forgot to tap his clock. So I actually had a time advantage here, even though he has moved instantly. He just forgot to click the thing back to me, click it back. So a little key with the time. And by the way, the 5 minute swing there would have mattered. So it's funny, his little mistake actually probably mattered, which we'll get to. Hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler, but there's a little bit of clock trouble in this one, believe it or not. All right. Nonetheless, I know that the moves basically, obviously, you're supposed to take. It's a question of which one's better. Apparently, E takes is better. I play knight takes. I was thinking it was going to get traded anyway. Again, these are like the minutia that I really don't know. But I was thinking that we would get a typical position, which I was prepared for. He takes. I knew that queen takes is not as good, but apparently it's basically the same. I was afraid. I mean, I ended up going pawn takes. And again, I'm taking like a few minutes. I thought that if I go queen takes, his best move is to push a quick c4. Apparently it's not good, so why? I thought this was good. He builds the center with tempo. Because apparently knight e4 check. This is good for me? I thought he just develops all his pieces. Why is this good for me? Because I looked at all this. I mean, like, I was like, okay, do I want to get my queen out for a fast attack? All right, I mean, apparently it's nothing. It's like even and then like e5. Okay. I wouldn't have played that move, by the way. Because I don't know it. Anyway, but that's not what happened, so let's not get deep in the tank about opening theory, where I literally looked at the moves, and after this point, after e takes, he plays the best move so we're on move 6, knight f3, which is not the best move. Okay, apparently it's not the best move. I thought it was the best move, but it's totally fine. All right, just a good move. All right, apparently it's not really a good move. Ooh. All right, we're already brutalizing this opening a little bit. All right, no worries. Knight f3 is played. I then tank again. I should be playing fast moves online. I normally just look to fianchetto and then castle, but I thought that if I was delaying castling by a turn, maybe he had some like quick attack. Or maybe he could lead with like some development if I basically went up this way. All these things kind of worried me, so I thought my best play was to prevent him from playing the bishop without fucking up my pawns, so I just moved my bishop here. Bishop e7. I thought it was a reasonable move. Apparently it's good. It's like not the best move, but accordingly we've both messed up the opening a little bit, but this is kind of what I'm familiar with. And I know that this is all like fine. The reason why, for the record, I know this enough about the French and what I play online, is I'm playing for c5, the pawn break, where I basically want to ideally build like the knight here and look to basically push the p with some possible, if his king is still on the board, possibly swinging my queen to like a5, some sharp attacks there, possibly looking to fianchetto the bishop on the light squares, etc., etc. And that was kind of my development plan. That's kind of what's going through my mind. And again, classical so far, all 3 games, I've spent more time at the opening than my opponents. Not because I have like 12 lines of theory memorized in my head, I don't, but because I know that the move orders matter. I don't know why, but I just go over everything twice just to make sure that I'm not like blundering some kind of crazy like sack or so. And I'll explain actually why that mattered, because there was a moment where if it wasn't for his clock fuck up, where I spent 5 minutes and counted on his time, which was a 10-minute swing, like I've already used more time than him. I would have been like already in the opening down like 20 minutes or something, just for the record. And I know that these moves, to anyone who knows what they're doing, so shout out to Ryan, a few other people who are watching, thank you, appreciate it. These are like very obvious for you, of course, and they are to me. I've played thousands of games of black in the French defense online against like decent opponents, But you have to understand, new to classical, I'm really agonizing over playing the right move, so I'm using a little bit more time. Nonetheless, let's see. Move 7, he plays bishop to d3, which makes some sense. Apparently it's the best move. Yep, the computer thinks it's the best move. And this is where I go into the tank. And I know it's so pathetic, but I know I want to castle, and I do. But I was a little bit worried if I castled and follow. Like I'm gonna play his move, but I'm gonna show you what I was worried about. He ends up playing. The hell is that? H3. What is H3? Not a good move, I think. Oh no, it's the best move. All right, he plays the best move. Great. All right. Well, there you go. I was worried the whole time, thinking about the Greek god of sacrifices, and I took like 10 minutes to castle because I was calculating all the lines of this sacrifice, and I thought, all right, I have to take. And I knew he didn't have this move because I have both the bishop lined up. It's one of the reasons I put it on e7 because I'm defending. But I was a little bit worried about this move. And I know, again, looking at the computer, he's just like super winning. But I thought that maybe he has a fast attack with this and then this check with possibly some kind of fork or so looming. And again, maybe I was seeing like demons or something, but I was really worried, and I calculated all these lines. Does the sacrifice work? Does this work? Am I getting Greek god of sacrifice, etc., etc.? And I thought the whole time if he played this, I'd be able to play g6, which is not a good move. Okay. Apparently the computer says to ignore everything and just play knight to d7, so it's not worried about that. But I thought if I just push g6 and I could hide my king over here, so I'm no longer having checks, and then bring my bishop over here, that I would just be winning. So I did agonize, literally, over finding the castling, and it is the, I guess, best or second best move in the position, something like that, and I finally played it. Alright, it's about even. Apparently, bishop g4 is slightly better to just pin. Again, and I looked everything online, like, I'm so used to pinning things on Blitz and everything, and apparently it's just the best line, but I thought that I needed to just get my king castled. Alright, well, whatever. These are the things where, like, the difference in semi-pawns is pretty minute, but I'm trying to play the best moves, but who knows. Anyway, he responds with h3, which apparently is the best move, so he's cranking out like a machine. And by the way, I thought he played the opening very strongly. And I went to another tank. I'm not kidding, guys. I mean, I note by move 15, I've already burned through 30 minutes. And at this point, remember, if it wasn't for the 10-minute swing, I would have burned there sooner. But, it is what it is. And basically, I thought of a lot of moves here. One such line, alright, 10 minutes in, perfect. For some reason, I really want to put my knight on the rim, so I was looking at this move specifically with the idea of basically doing, the queen side attack and opening up the position because he's not castled by doing a quick c5. Because I knew I wanted to play for that, and I thought that this helped it, and I thought that if he, once I play this move, if he's to, again, from, what did he do here, just so I'm keeping it in line, he just plays c3, which is the best move, by the way. Okay, he's just playing all the best moves, typical of my opponents. I thought that if he takes this, that I would take, and I thought this was good for me, because, yeah, then let's say he castles, I quickly have the fianchetto, or they say to d6 first. I thought that, like, this setup with possibly something like that swinging around, and I have this big attack, that the fact that these pawns are doubled on the a file didn't matter. And anyway, this is what I saw, and I thought that he would have to take. I thought that he would just take the knight because, like, people cream themselves over doubling the a file, and I thought he would take, and barring not, I thought I would just be able to push my pawn, which is kind of what I wanted. Like, that's what I'm playing for. I also, for the record, in this position, looked at swinging the rook, so I'm lining up the rook on the open file. I thought maybe I'd want to duck the bishop in. I like tucking it into f8. However, I thought I needed to leave it on this diagonal just to avoid any kind of nonsense by him swinging the bishop with tempo. If I'm able to move it away, he kind of attacks, checks my queen, you could say. So I was thinking about all those moves. The computer wants d6, bishop d6. What is that? Just moving over here. I thought I didn't think about this, honestly, because I thought it was moving my minor pieces that were already developed too much, and I wanted to get my other ones into the game. So that was like the 1-2. They also said h6 was another move that I looked at, because then it stops this idea, so I can free to move my bishop. But I also didn't want to give up what's known as a hook, Again, with the attack maybe looming before he's castled. So I thought that would be an inaccuracy, moving that pawn. I mean, apparently it's not. It's totally fine, but that was my thinking. That's why I played this. Anyway, he responds with c3, which is the best move. So again, another example of my opponent putting me through the ringer. But that's okay. All right. After this move, again, I'm putting my knight on the rim. I'm looking to play an early c5. Do I go c5 here? That's the question. The answer is yes. This is what I'm playing for. I thought this was good. I thought I could blow open the position before he castles. Obviously, if he takes, I can swing in or swing in. I wasn't sure what I wanted. I thought if he doesn't take, then maybe I could open it up. Blah 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 blah. I thought this was good. According to look, point 8, especially at my level, is whatever. It's a game. It goes on. We're on move 9. Who cares? But that's what I'm thinking. Instead, my opponent does the most random move possible. He plays a3, which, for the record, I knew when he played it there was no way this was going to be the best move in the position. You play that to stop b4. Obviously, I don't have a knight jump because this pawn's already defending. I don't think he's really looking to thrust his own pawn because again, I just didn't. For whatever reason, I didn't think he was playing for b4, which is what that move sets up. There's no pin anyway. To me, the move didn't do anything. It was a waste. Now, to me, what it says is, okay, your move, are you really gonna, push forward with your pawn? And the answer to that was no. I didn't think taking was correct, although according to the computer it is, although barely. I didn't think I wanted to advance because I thought he could just drop back, and then I kind of have this knight that's off sides, an undeveloped light square bishop, and I thought it was just a comfortable position for him. So instead, I played what I thought made the most sense, which is rook b8. There's a song rook b8. According to the computer, it's just not a good move. I'm kind of bleeding off points, or shaving them. But I thought that if he played this, I would just block, which was fine. I thought that I was going to be able to play for b5 and, again, do this pawn storm, I think it's called. That was kind of what I was seeing at the board. And if he now decides to take, it's even worse for him because then I'm kind of opening up on the half-open file. So that was my idea with rook b8. Again, just trying to move my pieces off their starting squares and going from there. My opponent keeps wanting to play the best move, unfortunately for me. But real quick, just to note the different things that were going through my mind, and at this point it is worth noting, I've officially used 30 minutes of my time at this point. So there you have it. I'm at a big time disadvantage, even with the fact that my opponent, again, messed up with a claw. So for whatever reason, I'm taking my time. I'm really trying to do the thing where you reach a position and try to build a cogent strategy. I thought my king was safe. I kept looking at Greek gifts, different sacrifices. Oh, it's not over there. Sacrifices like this, and none of them ever seemed to work, so I stopped worrying about them. And I thought that if my king was safe and he's not castled, I want to attack. And I thought the only way I could attack when my pieces were on the queen side. So that's thinking about the chess maxims, that was going through my mind. So again, as noted, I did play rook b8, but I was thinking about maybe b6. I was thinking about pushing. I was thinking about taking. Again, the computer wants to take. I just didn't think it was anything. I thought at the end of the day I'd be left with an isolated pawn in a pretty benign position, and I didn't want that. Although I have confidence in my endgame or so, I didn't want that. So I just didn't think that was good. The computer's also says c4, pushing it was good. Again, I just didn't think it was good because I thought he would drop, which is what would happen, and then I would redevelop and reposition my knight. But it's still not really going anywhere. Yeah, I thought maybe if I push it there, I could make make this as a bastion, but I had no idea how I was ever going to get a knight there. I thought that I'd have to get to this square. I didn't know how I would do that. It'd be like this, which is really 4 moves away. Anyway, I did, I'm not kidding. I know we're only 10 moves in. I did think about all this, and none of it seemed to make sense, so I thought I would just stick to the brute force. Okay, I don't know where I want my bishop. I can't move it there. I can't move it there. I thought this was kind of passive, just acting as a pawn. And I thought that if I ever take, I do want to make it on the long diagonal, so I didn't want to move my bishop. I thought that my queen, I might want to move my queen, but I didn't want to move it to the c7 square because I thought, ideally, I would reposition my knight, etc., etc. So that's everything that's going through my head at that point. Nonetheless, my opponent plays queen to c2, which makes sense. Oh, this is not the best move. I thought it was the best move. I looked at that quickly. It's just an inaccuracy. He should have played bishop to c2. Again, get his minor piece off the opening square. This move seems to make sense to me. He's basically forming a battery and obviously attacking the pawn. Obviously, I can't push. I have to respond to it. I did look at h6. I didn't want to give him the hook, so I moved immediately. I thought this was fine because if I move g6, I'm obviously defending against it. If he ever moves the bishop off, I can develop with maybe tempo. And if I have like a long way of fianchettoing my bishop, I still can swing my rook under. So when this was played at this point, and like the computer kind of agrees, it says that he has a comfortable position, but I thought we were like out of the opening now. And although I've used a good deal more time than my opponent, again, I've used about 30 minutes. I did write this down for the record, and he'd only used 15. I thought that life was good. I also thought my opponent was playing well at this point. Now, again, according to this, of course, he made some inaccuracies, but I thought that I didn't think when I was playing that he had made any mistakes here. Again, I thought this move made sense. I don't know if it was the best move. The only move I didn't like was the a3, which seemed like a wasted move. He kind of like gave up a tempo. And it annoys me when they play well, because I'm like, these guys are not supposed to be that good. He's not even 1300. But, but sometimes, I got to stop getting in that mindset. All right. Nonetheless, after I play g6, he plays bishop b5. So this move, I got to say something. When I'm thinking about moves, I didn't even consider this move, okay? I'm probably wasting too much time thinking about what my opponent was going to do. The whole time I was thinking he was just going to castle. Like, why would you not castle in this position, right? Like, think about it. What's he supposed to do here? Castle's the 5th best move, or 6th best move, so I guess they're all pretty even. But to me, it seems very obvious that you have an exposed king, you want to get the rook on the open file, you fucking castle here. Like, what else is there? Like, I didn't even consider another move. Apparently, the computer likes this move, because then you put pressure on the knight. But then I would just swing the knight out anyway, which is, again, fine. So anyway, when he plays this, it's the kind of thing where he plays on the board, he doesn't take. I was expecting him to slide it on over and just take the knight, and then I was going to quickly take, and then we'd reach the position that I was totally cool with. Again, where I'd have the open file, and I'd have the fianchetto light square bishop against no light square bishop. But instead, he plays this move, and I think to myself, I'm like, what does this move do? It doesn't do anything. It's a shit move. That literally my thought process. I mean, and again, my opponent seemed nice enough other than the fact that he really needed to shower. My hair is wild, huh? I guess there's like a beam of light behind me. Who knows? Maybe the lighting is awkward. I'm doing a different lighting setup for tonight. Basically, yeah, my hair, it's just like wet. So humid out. Right. Nonetheless, yeah, I just thought it was a shit move. I thought that my opponent, it didn't make any sense. Like, I wasn't even planning on it. Very quickly, the only move I saw was knight c7. According to the computer, I can literally ignore it. I can box him in and force this position, which I didn't even think about. I thought this was seemed like the natural move. I'm attacking. I'm getting my knight back to his square where I want it to be. I only put it there when I could help reinforce this push. With him not taking, I don't want it there anyway. So yeah. So I play knight c7. Very quickly, he played bishop e2, which, by the way, to me, read as a mistake because, a few moves ago, like when we're here, he could have just immediately done that. But now we reach this position where I have the knight on a better square. So again, even though I've used a good amount more time than my opponent, and the computer says he has a slightly better position, but like, I took a deep breath, I'm under the hour mark, and I thought to myself, I'm in good shape. And mentally, it's like good to reset there. I was like, my king is castled, I moved my piece off the opening squares, I'm not dead any pawns, I have a more active rook potentially. I might be able to move with tempo. He is still delayed a few turns where his bishop hasn't moved and he hasn't castled. So I thought that I had an opening win here. Again, the computer just says everything is even, so what am I smoking? But I was like very relaxed at this point in the game, which will change very quickly for the record. So just to let you all know. Anyway, I really thought about my options, and they say bishop f5 makes sense. Why? What? Oh, that one. That's f5. Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking about that for a long time, and I thought that he would just move his queen to a better square. So I didn't think it did anything, and I also didn't know if I wanted it there at all. I thought maybe there'd be some idea if I swung it out, I could like do a long term on this one, and then maybe threaten the rook once it castles, etc. All this is going through my mind. So I actually didn't like that move. Instead, I played the second best computer move, which is great. I go rook to e8. It makes sense to me. I line this up. I give myself the option of essentially fianchettoing just slowly. Yeah, this just seems like a very comfortable position. Computer thinks it's excellent. I feel good about myself. All right, cool. At this point, okay, I play rook e8. He finally castles, which I thought was about freaking time once I bring the rook out. The whole time when I'm calculating moves, I'm like, okay, he's going to castle now, he's going to castle now, he's going to castle now. And I thought he was going to castle back on like move 10 or whatever, I'm not going to scroll back, but you guys know what I'm talking about. All right. Nonetheless, here is where I did another thing, according to my notes. I'm like, all right, what's my plan? And I know I kind of want to attack on the queen side, but there's not really anything there. The whole time I'm thinking I don't really want to move this bishop because then he might be able to develop his final piece with tempo on mine. And like maybe I'd have like an awkward f6 move, but I didn't want to play that. So I didn't want to move this yet. So I couldn't think of a good move. According to the computer, I didn't play a good move here. But I'll show what I play first, and then I'll walk through what I was thinking. So on move 15, I end up playing b5. It says it's not a good move, which makes sense, because when I played it, I thought to myself, this is probably not a good move. But I just didn't know what to do. And if we scroll back, I was considering moving my knight here, because then it takes away this square from the bishop, and it frees my bishop to like swing around to like attack on the dark square diagonal, that kind of thing. I considered that move. I considered taking at this point. I thought this would be decent. Because if he takes again, like either way, maybe I'd be able to put some pressure. Again, if he takes with a pawn, then he also has the isolated pawn. What else was I thinking here? I was thinking about a simple just reinforcing. I think that was a very passive move, but I thought it made sense because now I kind of, again, open up my bishop to go kind of where I want. But then I thought it made the rook b8 move really stupid. So I was thinking about all those moves, and then I pushed b5. And the reason why, I'm going to just put in his move first. He plays this move, which is a bad move, I think, for the record. I didn't think this was a good move. Yeah, computer agrees. But my plan was, let's say, again, if he, I don't know, moves here, I thought I could play for b4. The computer thinks it's terrible, of course. But, I don't know, I thought if I take, some variation like this going through, I thought this was good for me. I don't know. Apparently it's just terrible, but I thought I'd have a whole host of things to do. Whatever. All right, anyway. I thought that maybe blowing up the queen side would be good for me. The computer says I'm an idiot, but I knew that already. Anyway, all right, well, whatever. That was my long-term plan. But when he plays this move, it's very clear what he wants. He wants this fork, so he can threaten both of these pieces, which makes a hell of a lot of sense. I think that's a pretty good move. Of course. So I defend against that. Whoops. Did I mess up my moves here somehow? Maybe. Alright, so 14 he castles. I play... Oh, yes. It's because I didn't play b5 from this position. Oh, okay, great. I wonder if I can delete all this stuff. Delete move. Alright, perfect. Okay, I didn't play b5 from here. I did play, okay. Oh, alright. I did play knight e6 first, which is a better move than playing b5, because I did want to stop that. Alright. Ignore all the analysis I just made. This is the move I played. It says this is a decent move. When I was considering the best move in this position would have been just the f5. I was thinking about this. Again, just basically checking the queen. But I did play here because I wanted to reinforce that. I wanted to stop that. I wanted to free up my bishop. And I did want to play for b5. So this was a better order. Okay. Woo! I'm not terrible. All right. In return, he played bishop e3, which was just a passive move. I mean, I'm sure the computer says this is fine. Okay, it's the best move. But it makes sense. I was trying to maybe, build pressure on this pawn. I thought that, like, long term, I'd have a lot of ways of attacking it. And I figured we were playing for the d4 pawn. His move, I guess, makes sense. For some reason, I didn't think this was the best move. I don't know why, but I just didn't think it was. The computer says it is, so I'm wrong. Now I play for b5, by the way. Now is when I do the pawn push. And apparently in this position, yeah! in this position, it's good. It's an excellent move. And now is when I played it, because I needed to move my knight here first to reinforce the square, and then I'm threatened to actually jam a bing bing bong down his throat. And I thought he had to respond to this. And according to the computer, he does. He has to just take. Otherwise, he loses his advantage. And this is where he plays this move. And I thought this was a blunder. Okay, I've already come back on time at this point. I moved kind of fast. I see what he's threatening. He's trying to threaten this fork. So I thought there was only one move here, and I thought it was a really good one. I immediately respond with Queen C7. The computer's not going to give it a brilliant, but I think it's a brilliant move. And the reason why is I am threatening to take, and I have this outstanding long-term pin, which will come into play, and I can apply more pressure to this pawn. So I thought this was just a total blunder. He's obviously not threatening the fork anymore. I'm defending all these squares and taking them away. And I've actually have my pieces into the attack, which is what I was going for the whole time. Again, it's funny to me because over the board, 17 moves in, or 16 moves in, at this point, I thought that I had a slight advantage. Like, I was feeling good about everything. And the computer says I shouldn't feel good about myself. I should feel like my opponent's playing well. But I thought that I was taking the initiative. You know what I mean? I thought I was like, you know, not quite dunking on his face, but, oh shit. No! What did I do here? Alright, well, there's my Steam in the background. God damn it. I wonder if I can go back to my analysis. No! No! These are my game recaps. It's playing 3-minute chess. Alright, I wonder if there's a way to kind of get back to my analysis. I didn't save any of it. Load previous analysis, maybe? Woo! Alright. Woo! Alright, crisis averted, because the video's already gone like 30 minutes. Again, I had a lot to chat about, and this was, and is, a roller coaster, as you're about to see. Alright, let's flip that board, because I am the black pieces. I play Queen C7. It's an excellent move. I feel good about it. Yeah, and my opponent plays this, which I thought was a game-losing move, or a terrible move, okay? And it was a total blunder, and at this point he plays it, and remember, the time has already swung, and I think to myself, I do like the Hikaru dance, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking own it! And I was thrilled, because I literally got up at the table. It was the one time I got up my chair, I walked around. I didn't quite do like a dance, like, you're gonna lose, bitch! I didn't do any of that. But I kind of got up and I said, alright, settle down, let's not immediately take the pawn. But I knew the tactic worked, I just knew it. But I wanted to go through all the variations. So you can see from the analysis, if you're following along, like the winning line, or it's not like winning, but like where I can have a massive advantage. But try to calculate it out, I did. Basically, you take. And the reason why is, you know, after taking, you'll see, like, oh, actually, I should just play it out a little bit. After taking, he can't recapture. He ends up playing, he realizes that he messed up, and he makes a very strong recovery, for the record, but f4 was just a terrible move. He plays bishop d2, which I think is probably the best response once he makes a mistake. Yeah, it is. But the reason why is if you take like that, you just take, and if you take, uh-oh, SpaghettiOs, queen's gone, game is over. And obviously it works the same way if you take with a pawn. Uh-oh, SpaghettiO, game is over. So you can't take that. So if you can't take it, I'm threatening to win the bishop. He has to move back. I just win a pawn. And I thought maybe there was this move, which is kind of clever, which in a bullet game I would probably play. But I thought that this didn't work. Ooh, they won. Yeah, okay, yeah, my tactics are strong. I did see this, and the reason why I'm attacking the bish with check, and then they have some like crazy lines. If they do something like this, it doesn't really matter because I just take it, and I'm just up a piece. So I did see all this, and then obviously if you like drop, I'm up a piece. If you take or something, I can just win the piece there. And if you drop, I just take it right off the bat. Yeah, so I did see all this, so beautiful. All right. So once he plays this, like, absolute blunder, an absolute blunder, I think to myself, I'm like, oh, he missed my pawn push, the idea here, the whole idea when I had the queen lined up with his, and I did the mistake that I sort of did last week, which is, I said, I've won this game, Robert, and I didn't yet, because as you'll see, human error is a thing at all levels of chess, but especially at the lower levels of chess. And till I rid myself of the moving quickly, I'm going to probably have more games like this. We're about to enter roller coaster mode. All right, so he plays bishop d2. I think for a long time, not a long time. I think for like a few minutes. The reason why is I'm considering taking. I'm considering what if I push. I'm considering a move like this, getting out of the way. I'm figuring, again, if there's any checks. I'm figuring about moving my my bishop. It looks like, I mean, what's funny is according to the computer, all of these moves are like reasonable, and I basically considered all of them. Yeah, I even consider Finketto. I literally to stop this in the future. So and according to the computer, they're all like equal. And I'm just up a clear pawn, which is kind of a winning position, but I still have to win the game. And I shouldn't really obsess over this. And I thought that the easiest line would be just go d takes, which is what I do. I go d takes on c3. And the thinking was if we trade everything, that I'm in good shape. Like, I'm up a pawn. I've got a clear advantage. Of course, my technique leaves a lot to be desired. So he takes, and I thought that if he, I thought like pretty much all of the lines, yeah, bishop takes is no good. B takes. Try to find out why. I did see this, yeah, because you still make use of the pin. The fact that he has nothing guarding his queen. So anyway, so he does the best move. He goes queen takes on c3, and I think for a long time here. And again, when I say long time, there's only one other time where I actually thought a bit longer. Looks like I played my move 14 to 34 in 30 minutes. So the next 20 moves I make pretty fast, which maybe wasn't a good idea, everybody. But word to the wise, because I did note. And again, I've now passed him in time. He's now spending more time than me, which is a real good thing. So, and yes, this game will go on quite a while longer because my technique leaves a lot to be desired. So anyway, he takes with the queen. It does seem as though queen c5 is more accurate to force him off that way. I did look at that. I didn't know if it was better. I wondered if I should go bishop take checks, etc., etc. And at the end of the day, I didn't want to obsess over it. And I thought to myself, I said, all right, Robert, we have a pretty easy position, like pretty clear, and I'm just up a clear pawn. He has no compensation for it. My pieces are in better squares, and this guy he's not as good as I am. If I can't win in this position, in a very simplified area where I have a time advantage, then what the hell am I even doing playing chess? And I thought that if he takes back, I have this move where I have basically a passed pawn. No pawns can attack it, and even though it's isolated, it's not a protected passed pawn. I thought I'd be able to batter and ram it down, and that's my win condition. But yeah, so I just trade the piece off. I thought it made sense. He plays the only looks like there's two moves that are kind of keep him in the game or so. Both are recaptures, makes sense. He plays bishop takes, and he does have this long-term threat where he's taking away the long diagonal, which is like a little scary. And I then am moving much faster. I've kind of picked up my confidence, and you have to understand, I'm literally thinking to myself, I won the game. I'm considering moving this again with tempo, kind of advancing it, shoving it down his throat. If we trade pieces, it's good. And I do not play the best move. So what do you think I did here? Well, I'll give you a hint. I blunder everything back. For whatever reason, I wanted to do the slow build-up of protect this pawn, Finketto, to avoid any kind of nonsense, maybe push this, and just go from there. Instead, I feel so stupid, I grab my bishop. I think I was worried about him playing this move anyway, essentially forking, kind of taking off the bishop, and then having the double bishops at this point. It probably would have been decent for him, but I play this move. And as soon as I played this move, guys, like, to get to the position with, like, the tactic where I had to think about it and, like, wonder, I was fist pumping, and as soon as I played this, he gives me this look, like, even he knew. He was, like, he went from, like, distraught for, like, a few minutes to, like, very quickly, like, almost asking me, like, why are you giving me this pawn? And my answer to that was, I don't fucking know, I played a horrible move. So this is like the first move of the game that I deeply regretted. And he immediately slams down, bishop takes. And you have to understand my psyche here at this point. I went from, I'm winning this game, I'm a genius, I played so well, I set up my pawns, all my structure, oh, look at me, I'm so smart about a tactic, I won a pawn, to, oh shit, I gave the pawn back, and I think he's got a better position, I might not win this anymore. So I was crestfallen, and the only good news is I'm ahead on the clock at this point. Nicely ahead because after his little disturbance. So I blundered. He goes bishop takes on b5, and apparently according to the computer I should play e to d8. Just get this rook off of this diagonal. I thought, to be honest, I was in trouble. I thought his pieces were really like menacing. He's got like a bunch of possible forks. He's got like, if he can reroute, over here, he has this as well. Like you guys, some of you might play classical, a few of my friends, but for those of you that don't, but play chess, like online Blitz. Blitz, I wouldn't think twice. I'd be like, whatever, it's almost like I would just move fast. Here, where his clock, even though I passed him on the clock, I had 50 minutes left. He still had 40 plus minutes at this point. And when you play this and you have 40 minutes and he's actually using it, he's doing the aphorism, when you have a good position, you just sit and think. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, how the fuck is he going to checkmate me now? Or oh god, he's going to win a pawn, or more. It's miserable. Especially that swing, the pendulum from I'm winning this game to I'm losing this game in one move. Just because I played too fast and I didn't realize, I knew I wanted, and the reason why I played this, just for the record, is I knew that I'd be able to play my pawn to d4, sort of with tempo, and then I would open up on the king, and I would have this move as well, and I'd have the double bish, the two-op combo, as it's known, lined up, and I'd have my pieces in harmony. And I thought if I could line that up, and I had a clever move as well, where if I pushed, I literally was thinking about this, where if I push the pawn, I can take this, and he has to take, otherwise he loses the rook, and then I open up, and I thought that I'd be winning another pawn there. That's the tactic I saw. That's why I did these things. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't work, and it was a bad move. And I immediately got punished by it. And I literally thought, and now according to the computer, it's not like the game's over, but in my mind, I was already not steaming. I was I didn't convey it at the table. I had a stone face, but he did look at me when he took the pawn. He almost looked at me if you, I'll do my best Russian accent. Vodka. He liked to picture word vodka, and he didn't quite sound like this, but he's like, if you have a good move there, you win game, sir. Something like that. But I do not see it. Something like that. And I didn't have a good response. I just made a blunder, and immediately he's back in the game, and that's what happens. Anyway, I decided now to play bishop check. I'm kind of flailing around, not really sure what the best move is. He moves his king to h1. I didn't think there was a difference. According to the computer, it's basically the same. It's the best move, in fact. And now I immediately know I'm under attack. I have to move. I wasn't sure where was best. And I thought that maybe I could be clever and, play it as though, I intended on doing this the whole time. So I was like, yeah. And I played rook to e7. Unfortunately, this is a bad move. It's an inaccuracy. But I thought that maybe I'd have more defense here, and then maybe somehow this would help me double up my rooks on a file, by doing it like that. Of course, this is terrible, and I immediately get punished by it as well. So, kind of named the game, and this is where it's swinging back to him. So, in case you guys think I won this game, it's not so clear I won this game. I'm telling you that. It's very possible I lose from here. The only advantage is the clock, which will come into play. So anyway, I played rook to e7 very quickly. It's not the best place for the rook. I really should have thought about it longer. He hits me with this move, which is what I thought, knight d7. It's the only winning move in the position. It's a great move. Yeah, the computer gives it the blue exclam. And at this point, guys, I thought I was cooked. Yeah. Now, the computer says I should play d4 immediately, which is what I was thinking the whole time, and according to this, it's playable. But I thought I had to confuse the matter. And I thought the problem with this is if he takes my rook, I maybe can trap his knight, right? Because if it's in the corner, then I'm taking away this square, I'm taking away this square, I'm taking away this square. But I thought the only way to do that is to kick his bishop out so that he can't just simply move back. So I thought I had to go here, and if he ever draws back immediately, then I can just win his piece. So I thought he had to move it here, and I thought maybe with that opening up, if I move my, if I somehow move my bishop there, opening up. I don't know. That maybe there was a world I could trap his knight, and this would be okay for me. But this was an accuracy. I had to play this move first, and I didn't do that. So instead of that, I did play this move, which, as soon as I played it, my opponent thought for 20 minutes. He went down from 40 minutes to, well, maybe 42 minutes to like 25 minutes or so. And this is where I texted my friend Ryan, who I'm sure is going to watch this. The pit in my stomach was like the feeling when you're bluffing in poker and you kind of know you're going to get called, where there's nothing you can do at that point except hope. And I've had that feeling so much, and I'm basically bluffing here on the board. And the reason why is because I saw the line, he could just simply move back. I saw he could simply just take, and all of these moves to me looked winning. And I thought, I fucking did it. I managed to throw away a pawn up and just completely collapse. And I saw the reason why is I thought he had this move, of course, takes, because I saw this brilliant move of slamming the bishop here, preventing me from pushing, and basically overloading my pieces. And I saw this, and I thought, no, like, best case scenario, I was going to be down in exchange, and that was best case scenario. And it's terrible, because I thought that if I didn't think it was that hard of a move to find. It looks like, yeah, okay. The move I thought he should have played is just this move immediately, bishop f6. But he thought for like 18 minutes, and I mean, I wasn't close to resigning at this point, but I thought about it. Let's see what happens here. So a6 on move 23. He plays. Oh no, that's right. I was thinking about these. Oh yeah. All right, that's why I didn't lose the game here. I thought that he should have slammed the bishop here. According to the computer, he should just take. And he played not the best move. He gave me life. L'chaim, if you will, to life. He played, that's why game goes on for a bunch of moves. He plays knight f6 check. And I'm not kidding. He spent 18 minutes on this move, and when he played this move, my first instinct was, fucking yeah, he missed a move! And then immediately thinking, oh shit, it's still a pretty good move. Because I realized he's threatening if I move over here, because I'm in check, if it's not clear. He just wins. He basically checks, he forks, and same position, but now my king is slightly moved, which isn't any better for me. If I move here, I'm under a discovery where he can still make the same move, and then I have to basically run with my king. And it's like the glimmer where you go from thinking, okay, he didn't find the best move, and he didn't, but then realizing, oh, he still played a really good move. So I wasn't really out of the dog house at all, or the dog woods. According to the computer, I mean, these moves are basically the same. This would obviously be the worst move, because it makes no sense. I swing my king up, I immediately move, and I look at the clock, and lo and behold, I don't reach the 30-minute mark until move 34. We're only on 24. I'm sitting pretty with tons of time, and after his 20-minute think, he is, what did I say, down to 25 minutes, 22 minutes. He is starting to click, click, click. And I almost wanted to do the tick-tock, like a mental game. I didn't do that. I figured that was not right at like a tournament like this, or these rounds, but I was like, okay, Rob, maybe I can play the clock in the classical game. Now, keep in mind, I am still threatening this piece. I know that he's going to have these discoveries. He's probably going to win the exchange. But I thought that maybe the game is mucked up enough that if he was inaccurate before, maybe he'll be inaccurate again. But already, I was like, my heart, when my heart, I was like, I was like, this game shouldn't have been like this. I should have had an easy win, but, I didn't. Anyway, he plays knight to d5, taking the pawn, which is the best move. I thought he was going to play this move, but it's all the same because he's still attacking. And I'm just, again, it's another great move. I'm just in a shitty position. I'm under check. He's going to be able to take this rook, and the game looked pretty losing to me, guys. I played the only move that I thought would give me a chance at winning, which is I ran with my king. My thinking here, and this is why I played on, because obviously he's going to take, and he took my rook, which makes total sense. He goes on move 26. He goes yep, knight takes. And I thought that, if obviously he's going to take, my king away. I thought maybe I'd have crazy ideas of running with my king and attacking. I know it's long term. I thought as well, once he takes, this square is covered, this square is covered. This square, once I take the bishop, is covered. This square is covered. This square is covered. I thought that there was reason to play on because I have his knight trapped. And if I could kind of get around and win his piece, thereby basically my rook and a pawn for 2 minor pieces, that I would have the better position. I thought that there was enough of a chance where I could trap his piece that I shouldn't resign from this position. And he was running lower on time. So that's what I'm playing for here. Game goes on. I play immediately, of course, I take. So I'm down the exchange. If you look at pawn count, he's got 3, 4, 5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. He's up the exchange. I only have 1 rook, he's got 2. However, I'm attacking the knight. He has nowhere to move, so he's got to do something about it. I thought that maybe long term, obviously he can attack. If I then take, he then takes with check, and I'm just lost. I'm going to have to move this. And I am attacking his knight. So the computer says his best move is f5, and lo and behold, my opponents consistently are now playing the best moves. He plays f5. So now I go deep in the tank, and I think, God, I've got, I'm not deep in the tank. I'm moving kind of fast. And I think, okay, I kind of have an option here where if I move my knight, I have to move my knight. I'm still attacking his knight. I have this move where he's pinned, and then I'd be able to basically win back the exchange. His checks, because his king's caught in like the hurricane, or whatever it's called. Again, constantly checked. So I thought that maybe this move was decent. I thought it was the only move I saw that kept the game going, which the computer agrees. I was worried about this move, and I was worried about this move. I didn't know which one was better. I thought pushing the pawn and then making his knight safe, where obviously he has no squares to move it away, but he can just iron it down. I thought that was the better move. They want to play b4 to attack, which makes sense. Computer wants to also take. Do they not like my move? Here, I'm going to play his move first. He ends up going here, for the record. Bishop d2. Move 28. Is this move not good? I thought this was a good move. I was really worried about this. It's a mistake. So then I have this move. Huh. You're still threatening these things. And you're threatening this for. I was always looking at this, making use of the pin. Huh. So if you do that, I actually have the attack. I was going to play this, knight takes h3, which is they're equal moves, roughly. I thought this gave me a little bit of counterplay, but this was what I was going to play. Nonetheless, that's not what happened. He played bishop d2. I thought I had to break the pin and just play on from here. His knight is still trapped, potentially. It's the only hope I have. He then takes, he trades, which makes sense. I trade. He's down to, like, not a lot of time. He's down to, like, this is the first time in a classical game that he's gotten below 20 minutes. So I finally, for the first time, saw seconds. He had, like, 18:55, and I was like, wow, I have, like, a 2x time edge. He's really getting low. And to me, a lot of his moves a lot of them just felt winning and kind of near obvious. I have a little bit of pressure where I thought, for example, with the double bish combo over here, that maybe, I don't know why I can't draw arrows. It's more challenging than you think. But I thought that if I swung on through, and if he's, I actually was going to go to D here. If I could take the row, that maybe I have something here. But again, at this point, I'm just playing moves that I think I have to play. So I move my king on over, again, the only hope I have of this game is this piece is trapped, and if I can win this piece, I have a winning position. So, and it's possible. So I know the computer says it's not possible, game's over, but over the board, where it's not obvious all his moves, I was worried about him just simply moving the rook there, I was worried about him moving this here as well. I thought all these moves are, like, good. He finally plays a move that is not a good move, and I knew it as soon as he does. He plays this rook over. He plays this move, and I knew this was a bad move. The reason why is I thought this move would be way better, which it is. I thought this move would be way better, which it is. Although it's an accuracy. Again, why? D4. I guess because I'm attacking this and I'm attacking that. Okay. And I'm still trapping his knight. I would have found that move, by the way. The computer just simply wants to go F takes G. And the reason why is they want to go like that. Interesting. I would have taken with the H pawn. And I guess you're just, you're just trading pieces when you have up material, which makes sense. Trading off pawns. However, he finally makes a mistake, and I knew that this was a blunder. Computer agrees. And as soon as he plays this move, guys, I thought to myself, I literally, even though I had a time advantage and I was moving pretty fast, because again, it wasn't until move 34 that I broke below the 30-minute mark, I thought, yes, he moved the wrong rook, and I knew he moved the wrong rook, because he can't move here. He can maybe move this, but like I can then take. And I thought two different moves. I thought I had this move, or I thought I had this move, both of which seemed pretty good to me. But I played the more accurate one, way more accurate one. This apparently is a good move in this position as well. But I wanted to prevent him pushing his pawn. How do I do that? I move my king. And as soon as I play this move, I mean, the computer says that he's still in like a winning position or a better position. I thought once this position was reached, move 30, that I grinded hard. He made it an accuracy. I thought that was a bad move. I wouldn't have played that. That now I was winning. It's funny because like we're what 56 minutes in. Holy moly, it was a roller coaster game. I thought that basically he played a great opening. I thought I really had that nice tactic, played well to win the pawn. I stupidly gave it back. He was failing his technique to complete, and I was grinding, and then he fell short. According to the computer, he still has a good position, but I thought I'm winning the piece. This is the dream. I got this, baby. And I was like, and again, he's below 18 minutes at this point. I forget exactly how much time he had at this point, but he was, excuse me, burping a little bit. He was like visibly sweating, basically. Well, maybe not like sweating, but he was like in the Russian, like, vodka, I do not know how to win this game. I have fucked it up completely. And yes, that's true, Sergey. I'm sorry, buddy. That was a mental conversation that was going on. Nonetheless, as soon as I play this, I know I'm winning the piece. I don't think he's winning anymore. Even though I saw a few funny ideas. For example, if he plays, what was the idea I saw? They think, yeah, I saw this. So basically, I mean, what ends up happening? On move 31, he does play rook f to e1. Right, we got that one. I played king h6, king f6, excuse me. He plays rook a to c1, so he gets the other rook in the game. I knew this was a bad move. Yeah, here I'm just winning now as he blunders again. But I thought that he has this clever move. I did see this where he could play here, and I thought if I take, he could now move yeah, a to c. I did see this, and I thought that he was basically winning up a pawn back. Of course, what would happen? Maybe I would find this. I'd move here because then he can take here. I can take here. He would take here. I would take here. And from this position, let's say he takes, I take, and it would just be a total endgame. And I did see that tactic once he made a mistake. And I thought that's what he should have played. To basically known as bailing out in the endgame. What happens? What was I supposed to be playing here? Let's take it on c6. AC1, which yeah is played. C8, which is played. F takes. Oh, they want to move. They want to take with the pawn. Oh, they want to just double. Ah, the very patient move. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. Maybe. All right. Well, whatever. That didn't happen. Once he plays this move, I'm windmill slamming. I moved instantly. I literally did a sigh of relief. I take the bishop, and once this occurs, I'm winning the game. I say to my like he even looks up, his clock is ticking. I'm doing like the TikTok, and he like desperation in his face when he loses that piece. And it had been trapped the whole time. I didn't make it easy, but there were a few moves that I could have played. I think I would have found. I know I'm winning, and I have I haven't even dropped below 30 minutes. It wasn't until move 34, and he's down to like less than 15, maybe 14 minutes. And I know for me, for like online, that would be a ton of time, but he's completely butchered this game. And I couldn't have been any happier about it. So anyway, once I take, you'll see kind of how the game continues. I take on e7, and then he plays rook c7, which I didn't think was a good move either. I thought that like at this point he kind of lost the plot, because my follow-up seemed very obvious. Again, I moved immediately. Now I'm blitzing out moves because they all feel very natural. I play rook to d6. Obviously, I'm attacking that. I'm taking away this square. He doesn't have this rook check because I can take with that. He doesn't have this because I'm defending. He doesn't have an ability to double. He pretty much has to like sacrifice this, etc., etc. I think it's a great move. I thought it was an obvious move, although I'll take the computer at its advice. And then once I play bishop d6, he responds with rook d7. It's the only move to keep it on. You could obviously just sack the exchange, but then you're not gonna beat me when you're down when you're down a full bishop. And once he plays this, if you want to find the winning move, or what I thought was the winning move, according to the computer, I didn't play the winning move. What the fuck? Well, I thought I played the winning move. How did I not play the winning move here? All right. Well, he's attacking the bishop, so obviously you got to move the bishop. And I thought there was a very clear winning move here. Well, this would have been even stronger. I didn't do that. I just play rook e5. And rook e5, I think, ends the game. According to the computer, it's a mistake. But I thought from this position, it ends the game because I've now cut off his ability to double his rooks. I am now going to win this pawn. He has no such attack. He is completely defending when I have the double bishops. Yeah, I stopped that. I don't know why. I don't know why this move is better. Because doesn't this... I thought I had to prevent him from doubling. Doesn't this just allow this? d5. What? Oh. Okay, that makes sense. Once you defend here, kind of move it back, you are just attacking the bishop. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Alright, yeah. And then you have nowhere to really move this, so you'd have to move to, like, e3. Okay. And then you play f4. Alright, this is all nonsense at this point. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I thought this was an exclam, to be honest, because I prevented him from ever doubling. Once I've taken that away, I thought the game is over. My pieces are, again, lined up successfully. He looks like he's about to resign here. And then, yeah, once I block with bishop e5, he plays b4, kind of like lashing out. Again, I'm attacking this, but I'm not really attacking it. I don't give a shit about that pawn. And I thought I played the best move here. I do. I just simply take. And once I take, he should have resigned here, because I'm going to have what's known as the wooden shield. I'll bring my bishop here. It's attacking this. I can swing my rook, maybe look for a checkmate. Going on through, I take away the square. He can never connect his rooks, etc., etc. What he should do apparently is move g1, try to get this piece in the game. Instead, he blunders and resigns immediately, where he actually moves the piece here. But it doesn't really matter. In fact, I'm going to delete that and see what happens at this point as far as the review. But let's save this game as... Wait. Damn it. I'm supposed to... How do I don't even know how to... How do I, like, put... I wish I knew how to... Maybe add to game collection? No. How do I title it? I want to, like... New analysis, add game, game review, add to game collection, practice with computer. Guys, where is it? Explore, openings, this is the analysis key. Alright, there's got to be a way for me to put in the names of us, right? It's the analysis. Alright, well, according to the review, let's see. Played at an 83.3% accuracy, 2200. He played 1950. Endgame accuracy 9.2%. Yeah, he just blundered at the endgame. You know, made some good moves. Again, if you look at the bar, I was literally fist pumping here. I got too hyped. I blundered. I battled. Computer said I did a good job fighting. No, wait, I'm reading this wrong. He's white. Scratch that. He played the opening pretty well. He developed a bit of an advantage. I kind of equalized. I found this tactic. I had what I thought was a winning position. I very quickly blundered it back. He kind of builds on that. He's got a few moves that if he could spot the win, he's in good shape. I'm battling. And then he kind of gives the advantage back, and then he resigns. So, yeah, a bit of a roller coaster, which is kind of cool. Where do I maybe... All right, I got to find out where to... Game details, maybe? Yeah, game details. Let's say Sergey... What? Sergey. I don't know why it does it like that. These are not... I guess these are like actual people, but Sergey Z. I'm going to say Sergey Z, and this is going to be Robert E. I say unrated. He is 1285. Black 1. And the time control doesn't work, so I'm going to do hour 1.5 event Boylston Tuesday Swiss. So anyway, I won round 3. How do I save this? Let's see. Today is the 16th. Save and add to game collection. Let's maybe add that way. There we go. All right. Voila. I'm going to end the recap here. I know it's quite long, but I'm very proud of myself. I got the dub. Obviously, I shouldn't have played very fast in that spot. Overall, the computer said I played pretty well. It was a little bit of a roller coaster. We're now on 2 wins and 1 loss. I think I have a chance to win the tournament. The guy who beat me last week, I did see 1. He's now winning the tournament with 3 wins, no draws. But I win out, and maybe I can take down some prize money. All right. Thank you all for watching. I know this was a long one, but I wanted to go through my whole thought process. Till next week, have a good one.